Hey, it's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to this week's episode of the Swac Zone. Of course, we come to you once a week on Thursdays, trying to give you the latest and the greatest that's going on throughout the Southwestern Athletic Conference. This week is going to appear to be a bit lopsided because we got a lot going on with my beloved Prairie View A&M University. We got a action-packed hour for you. We're going to hear from the offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, defensive coordinator of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, Mark Frederick, Alvin Fosselman, and we're going to also hear from Todd Middleton. And to add, we're going to hear from a very special young lady who represents the Prairie View A&M University women's basketball team. So we got a lot in store for you on today. We'll remind you that you can follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And don't forget, we have many options for you to listen to the podcast of the Mike Prince Show. You can listen by way of Spotify. You can listen by way of SoundCloud. You can listen by way of Google Podcasts. You can also listen by way of Spreaker.com. We're going to jump into this week's episode of the Swac Zone, presented by the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But first, I'm going to take care of a couple of items and informational pieces for your listening pleasure, and we'll get on with this week's show. Keep it right where you got it. We'll be right back.
Since 2002, the Open Mic Broadcast Network has been providing local and regional coverage for Prairie View A&M University, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Blinn Junior College, Wharton Junior College, and Waller County, Texas high school sports. You can support the broadcasting coverage here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network by becoming a listening partner. Simply visit the website obnradio.com, and for as little as 17 cents a day, you can become a listening partner. That website again is obnradio.com. The voice of student athletics, serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. We'd like to recognize our broadcast partners, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Panther Backers. If you would like to become a broadcasting partner, contact us at 832-213-8824. Join us each and every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, for a word of encouragement from the Temple of Refuge Ministries. Simply dial 857-777-0000. Building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Temple of Refuge Ministries, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Swac Zone here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am your host, the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, reminding you that the Mike Prince Show comes to you each and every day, Monday through Friday. Fresh take of what's going on with the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, and, of course, that of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. As I mentioned at the start of today's show, we are going to hear from the three coordinators of Prairie View football. Big weekend coming up. It's homecoming week on the Hill. The Panthers get ready to take on Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Kickoff time will be at 2 p.m. You can listen to that game live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network on our live line number, 857-777-0000. That kickoff, as we mentioned, is at 2 p.m. Pre-game show starting at 1:30 p.m. But we're going to hear now from Mark Frederick, Alvin Fosselman, and Todd Middleton about last week's performance over Lamar Cardinals and what it's going to take for them to have success against the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. You're listening to the Swac Zone on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a homecoming edition of This Week with our offense and defensive coordinators for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. I have on the line with me none other than Coach Mark Frederick. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I dare not complain, sir. Congratulations. A well-oiled machine on Saturday. Although it wasn't the perfect game, but you had to be very pleased with your performance from the offensive side of things.
Yes, I was pleased. We watched the film yesterday as an offensive group, and the guys see, even though we had a lot of success, we still got stuff we need to work on. So every day is a grind for us to get better.
Yes, sir. Well, the question that I have, Coach, you got over 300 yards rushing in the first half. If I'm not mistaken, it was total like 406 yards just on rushing. How do you have enough balls to spread the love around, man?
Man, we got a great offensive line, and we got a stable of running backs along with Trayvon at quarterback. Those guys, they buy into it, man. They put the work in, and now you know they're seeing the fruits of their labor. And got a coaching staff on offense that does a great job of coming up with a game plan and saying, hey, this is how we need to attack them, and that's what we do.
Yes, sir. Now, with that being stated, although this was a team that's 0-6, now 0-7, this was an FCS opponent, not a quote-unquote cupcake opponent. How good does that make you and your unit feel knowing that you were able to execute on a team on the same level?
Well, anytime you get to go out and execute at a high level the way we did, I think it builds confidence. And with confidence, those guys, they play a little bit harder. So playing a team like Lamar, we didn't take them lightly just because of the record. And, we had a chance to represent our conference going against an out-of-conference opponent, which, the SWAC hasn't always fared well versus those teams. So it was great, man. It was great to get the win.
Well, I didn't know if you were familiar with this little tidbit, sir, but the last time Lamar played Prairie View was 2012, and Lamar beat Prairie View by a score of 31-0. Now, me being here for some many moons and some stars, I was very satisfied to see that result. And as a matter of fact, I'll make a confession to you now, Coach. During our pregame show for the broadcast on Saturday, I put it out there on the line that if we were not able to score at least 35 points, I was going to be highly disappointed.
Oh man! Okay, well, I'm glad I was able to make that happen for you.
Yes, sir. Well, just knowing what you know about what you have, and I know you have to go out and play the games, but when you look at this team, and I'm talking about Prairie View, of course, on paper from top to bottom, this was supposed to happen. Not taking anything away from Lamar, not being facetious or arrogant, but this is why you grind in the summer camps. This is why you have your spring ball.
And this was to be expected of a team of your caliber when you're facing a team who happens to be down now.
And that was something we had to preach to the guys. Look, don't play down to your opponent. Don't fall into the trap of, oh, man, they 0-6 and they not good. They had some talented players. Don't get me wrong. They had some talented players, and they played hard the whole game. We couldn't stop playing at no point in that game until the clock hit zeros. We had jumped up on them, and they still came back. And, you know, our thing at halftime was, man, we got to come out and we got to play. We got to finish the way we started. That's our thing now. We got to finish the way we started. We started fast, and I think we finished fast. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was happy to see that.
Yes, sir. Well, we have a theme that we dubbed at the open mic, and it was, are you familiar with Mortal Kombat? I know you're a tad bit younger than I am, but there was a video game called Mortal Kombat, and the theme was Finish Him. And that was the theme for PV football, Finish Them. And off to a great start. Now this is behind you. You got to prepare now for a defense that I'm expecting to be a little bit more stiffer when you talk about the likes of Bethune-Cookman. They were in a shootout this past weekend with Mississippi Valley. Have you had a chance to see some chinks in the armor as far as your plan of attack for this week?
I usually don't look ahead. Now, some of the assistant coaches, they'll start breaking down the next opponent like on a Thursday and Friday as we travel or something like that. But I usually stay locked in on the team that we're playing. So yesterday I had a chance to look at them for the first time. And, man, they got some big players. They got some guys on that defense. I know the head coach very well, Coach Terry Sims. He's going to have them guys ready to go, man. Them guys going to be ready to play. They create some challenges for you. They play hard. They pursue to the ball. They do some great things schematically. So we're going to have to be on our A game and do what we're supposed to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, this may sound a little crazy, Coach. Of course, Sims had some track record at Prairie View once upon a time. But when we talk about Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, although they're part of the SWAC right now, they still bring some of that MEAC flavor. And although this is considered a conference game, my approach is to handle this as an out-of-conference game as well, as far as the physicality that they bring to the table and the style of ball that they play. Are you trying to condition your guys to that manner as well?
Of course, man. Last year we went down there and played Bethune, and I'm going to just be honest with you now. They came out and hit us in the mouth. So we understand what they bring. We understand that they are very physical. And again, we can't expect them to come in here and lay down and think someone is just going to give us something. So we'll be prepared. We'll be ready, and can't wait to make the homecoming game.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. Well, Coach, I know that you guys are busy and grinding, getting ready for Bethune-Cookman. It's homecoming week. A lot of extracurriculum is going to be going on, and you're going to have to be almost like herding cats almost to try to keep the young men focused and in vision for this week's opponent. But we do thank you so much, sir, and we're going to pause real quickly, and we'll try to get lined up now with defensive coordinator Todd Middleton. You listen to the Mike Prince Show special homecoming edition of the Coordinator's Corner. I guess what we'll call that, Coordinator's Corner. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Since 2002, the Open Mic Broadcast Network has been providing local and regional coverage for Prairie View A&M University, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Blinn Junior College, Wharton Junior College, and Waller County, Texas high school sports. You can support the broadcasting coverage here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network by becoming a listening partner. Simply visit the website obnradio.com, and for as little as 17 cents a day, you can become a listening partner. That website again is obnradio.com. The voice of student athletics, serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our special Coordinators Corner section this week for Homecoming 2022. Mike Prince here with you. We said we want to get to Mr. Todd Middleton, but we now have been blessed to have on the line with us Mr. Alvin Fosselman, Special Teams Coordinator. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing real well,
All right. Well, congratulations on not only last week's performance, but a season's performance. You've had these guys executing on all cylinders at one way or another from game one, which is special teams. And when I asked Coach McDowell what was in the secret sauce, he immediately said it was Coach Fosselman. What's in your sauce, sir?
I don't know about all that, but I definitely take that compliment from Coach Bubba. But it's just getting our guys to buy into what we're trying to do schematically, ensuring those guys that we play hard, letting them know that also special teams is a big part of what we're trying to do. And I think the kids have really bought in, and they're trying to get the job done of what we're asking them to do.
Yes, sir. Now, getting the job done, whether it was a block punt, whether it was a special return, or whether it be a kickoff or a punt, or even field goals, you're getting these guys to buy in. When do you know that you have that special somebody? Because usually guys kind of cringe and want to be on special teams, or they're considered so deep down on the chart that this will be the only way they get in, and their attitude is not always the best. How do you coach these guys up?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a mindset. It's a mindset throughout out the building. The coaches alike have to also instill in these young guys that, hey, man, if you want to win around here, you have to also play special teams, all right? And then we have coaches like Coach McDowell and Coach Frederick who excelled on special teams and actually got shots in the pros and NFL because of special teams. So it's not just a saying. We actually believe that that's 1/3 of the game, and we got to get that part of the game done as well to be able to win games. So it's a mindset throughout the whole building.
Yes, sir. Now, we've been noticing that from our vantage point, you have, I'm going to say, a more than average field goal kicking attempts when you get out here. We've noticed as deep as 52 and 53 yards. What's the max range, and then what's the max range that you would feel comfortable out going into game situation?
Well, our field goal kicker can really hit it now. He can hit it. On the average, watching them practices, he can hit a 55-yarder with ease. In games, though, anywhere around 45 to 52, we feel comfortable about putting him out there and getting him a shot at kicking it. He has a really strong leg.
Okay. Now, those are once upon a time unheard of to even try a PAT in this conference, let alone, 30 and beyond field goal attempts. This conference has really advanced quite a way, and it's due to the special teams play, and that was before any other coaches arrived to the scene. When did you see the turn coming on really gravitating and putting more emphasis in special teams play in this conference?
Well, that's very easy. Like I say, when you have a head coach that can sit in front of the guys and tell them that he was an outstanding punt block guy, when he can sit there and tell them that, he got his shot because he was able to perform on special teams. When you got a head coach that can sit in front of your guys and let them know, this is who we are, this is what we want to be. Special team is a big part of that. That makes everything, real easy for us.
Yes, sir. Now, you have a unique challenge this week coming up against Bethune-Cookman. A couple of returns, a punt return and a kick return, 4 touchdowns. And I know the importance of discipline, staying in your lanes. What are you seeing that makes Bethune-Cookman a big threat this week?
They have some elusive guys, and we like to say with some returnability. Okay, they have some elusive guys with some returnability. And the main thing is for us is to make sure that we don't get relaxed. Make sure that we're playing hard at all times. Make sure that we're covering. Make sure that we're staying in the lanes like you said, but make sure that we got a great effort to that football. When he catches that ball, we all have to hunt that ball. We all have to get the ball down. Just be disciplined about what we're doing when we're covering.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I'm not a coach, sir, and I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn, but I do enjoy my football, right? And
Yes,
I said that if I was to try to build a team from scratch, there are 4 full scholarships that I'm willing to give out. And with you being a special teams guy, you might appreciate this. A long snapper,
yes,
a place kicker,
mm-hmm.
a punter, and a bona fide gunner.
Woo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You own it. You know, we dedicate scholarships for those positions. Because like I said, we think that those are important positions. And if we find a guy that we really like, that we think can help us change games, you know, it's definitely worth it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, we know that there's limited time with the hours that the NCAA has administered for practice. How do you get your emphasis across when it comes to special team practice and going over punt blocks and going over return setups? Is there a formula that you go through, or you just kind of grab the guys and get like this like a fire drill? Let's get it.
No, sir. No, sir. We are very organized, very articulate about what we're trying to do. You know, the time given allowed it for us to get special teams done. We use our time wisely. Guys are not waiting around on instructions. When it's time to go, it's already there for them of what we have to do, what we're going to do. And then also within our practice schedules, Coach Bubba makes sure he allows us enough time to get it done. And even if we have to run over a minute or so to make sure that we, you know, get it done out the way that we want to, he's willing to make those adjustments for us. So we make sure special teams is, you know, a big part of what we're trying to do.
Okay. Well, Coach, look, we thank you guys for making yourselves available. We know that you're pressed against the clock, and it's in particular with it being homecoming, and I know things are going to be chaotic and sporadic, but we got to take care of them Wildcats, and I'm going to jump out on a limb and say something's big going to happen on special teams, and I'm hoping it's more on the Panthers side than on the Wildcat side, sir.
Yes, sir. Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. That was, of course, Alvin Fosselman, special teams coordinator for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. We're going to take another quick break, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to have Coach Todd Middleton join us when we return. You listen to the Mike Prince Show. Keep it right where you got it. We'll be right back.
People often ask us, when will we develop an app? And I've been telling them all the time, we already have an app right at your fingertip. That app is 857-777-0000. Save this number on your favorites, put it on your speed dial, and every time there's a live broadcast, dial that number, 857-777-0000. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back to the special homecoming edition of the Coordinator's Corner. We got the last of the three-headed monsters this week, none other than defensive coordinator Todd Middleton. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Congratulations on a dominant performance on last week. If you could, sir, give us your assessment of what clicked and what still needs to be adjusted from your defensive side of things.
Well, I thought we came together better the second half. We got to do some things to shore up the run. I didn't think we played very good run defense, but, understanding the circumstances that we're under, we were very, very limited as far as our rotation and depth. So that definitely had an effect on it. We had a lot of guys taking abnormal amount of snaps. So we thinking, with everybody being back full strength this week, that should basically take care of itself. But we're still going to address our mistakes and identify what we did wrong.
Yes, sir. Of course, you're referring to the suspensions that were handed out by the conference, and best to get it out of the way, and that way you can move full steam ahead. With that being stated, sir, it was, I think, 420 yards of rushing, and I'll be quite honest with you, Coach, I got a little nervous toward the end of the first half when they scored the 14 points, and I was like, man, let's not let this, second half curse come up on us. But you pitched a shutout, man. And what was the message at halftime?
Well, I consider myself a godly man, and I didn't use any words that I shouldn't have used, but I did. We, as defensive coaches, we did get their attention, so to speak. So, and I will give the young men all credit is that they responded. They responded and played hard. It wasn't perfect, but they responded. There was a couple of adverse situations where they got down there close and they rose to the occasion. So I just would say kudos to the young men that went out and just really, focused and did a more concerted job of doing their job in the second half.
Yes, sir. Now, when you have a game like this, Coach, and everybody's clicking on all cylinders, and is it hard to keep the guys grounded and rooted, especially from the defensive side, that you have such a strong, dominant game, that you got a quite capable team coming in this week that's going to be a little bit of an upgrade at what you faced last week. So what's your message to them as you move forward?
Well, this group is a veteran group. I think we've been down that road before, and we know that we can't take anything for granted. So it's a 1-week season. You want to focus on one practice, 1 week, and one game at a time. So I think that, we have a senior-based, I know front seven, just to continue with that focus and things that we need to do to continue striving to keep that going in the right direction. But I really believe that they understand that.
Yes, sir. Now, you've had a chance to get a glimpse at what the Wildcats are strong at and what are going to be, let's say, the top 3 assignments that you have to take care of to be victorious with Bethune.
Well, they're very athletic. They run well. Of course, I'm biased by them being from the state of Florida. So when you deal with Florida kids, you're gonna have to deal with the speed factor. Sometimes they might not look as fast on film, but you see them in person. They always have had speed. With me, have coaching against Bethune-Cookman for years. Coming here to PV from Florida A&M, so I've been on the losing side of plenty of battles with Bethune-Cookman. So, Coach Terry does a really good job. They get, very good players. They get some very good transfers, guys that want to come back home and play in the home state. So they're a talented group. I know they have the Everett kid, the big tight end is definitely a pro prospect. He has outstanding size and soft hands. He gave us fits last year, so we got to defend him. They have a real shifty running back, and then the quarterback, of course, started out as a Power 5 quarterback, so you definitely have to take him in account.
Yes, sir. Now, I spoke to Coach Frederick, I believe, a couple segments ago, and with you coming from FAMU, and you understand what I'm saying, although Bethune and FAM are part of the SWAC now, they still bring a bit of that MEAC flavor as far as the physicality and the type of players that they've been able to recruit. How do you compete up against that? And then what's your future plans to try to recruit some of those same type of players?
Well, definitely you like to, evolve and get the guys that fit into your scheme. With me and Bubba being Florida natives, we've always, like to have some Florida kids, but we understand Texas is our priority. That's the big thing. There's plenty enough players out here from Texas that can fill our roster, that can play for us. Now, you might get into some kids from Florida if you naturally recruit the junior colleges and transfers. That's where you can get your your players from other parts of the country. That's where that kind of comes into effect. But we're happy here recruiting in the state of Texas. We know there's great players here in the state of Texas. But there might be a couple certain situations where we have a definite connect there. We'll look into that, but we know where our bread is buttered, so to speak.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to put you on the spot just for a second, Coach. And you being a Floridian, you're in Texas. You have the states of Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Arkansas. prototypical, this is going to be a stereotype response, but normally what type of players are known for in each state that I've mentioned?
That's a great question. When you start talking about, next door Louisiana, you have, they don't have the sheer numbers, but those guys, they're elite guys, can play with anyone. If you look at Louisiana right now, they've been known for the great receiver. You're talking about, Chase and the young man and Minnesota. So the receivers have been outstanding in the state of Louisiana, and they also have great defensive backs that can run with great speed. But also, anytime you start talking about Deep South, you start talking about size. Big linemen that can run, athletic defensive linemen. They can run also. Where the state of Mississippi, they're going to have that big guy, the big girth guy that's wide and they can move. If you look at the, Mississippi State, LSU, even the elite guys that Alabama have come and taken, from Mississippi, they've been mostly big linemen. As you get into, Alabama, it's a little bit of mixture. Now, when you get into Florida, they do have big guys, but I think because of Florida being so close to the islands, and a lot of people with a lot of island background, you have those kids that are used to being outside and running, and that's where the speed factor comes in with the state of Florida, with the speed and the sheer numbers of guys that can put out outstanding times. You look at, guys that weren't heavy recruited, like let's go into Lamar Jackson. He wasn't a heavy recruit. He was like a 3-star. That went to Louisville, was kind of a, second thought type of guy. The Florida schools didn't recruit Lamar Jackson. And look, he's arguably one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yes, sir. And what about the state of Texas?
The state of Texas has the mixture. Between Florida, Texas, and California, you're talking about sheer numbers, quality numbers. The thing about the state of Texas is that they invest so much money into coaching, into facilities, into supporting these young men. So, they have great confidence, but they've been coached at a high level, starting probably as early as the middle school level. So that's the thing that sets Texas out above everybody else. It's just a great state to coach in because they just love football here. And it's just preached in the community. Like, Coach Frederick has a little 6-year-old son, and, he plays for the Ravens. And, even right now they're talking about playoffs and, they got, homecoming and all type of things like that. So you just don't experience those things in other states.
So they come out talking about run me a go route, right?
We had the little type. We had the little Tykes here a couple of years ago that was, I think out of San Antonio or somewhere where they had their own show. I mean, you would think it was a high school game at the support and banners and people showing up. And these are the little, and that's what sets, Texas apart. That's unique.
Okay. Well, Coach, I appreciate you answering the call on the spot right there. And I know you guys got a lot of Wildcats to keep examining throughout the course of this week. But things are looking good for the Panthers. And let me state this, Coach. I told Coach Frederick I got nervous when they scored the 14. And I said I needed a shutout in the second half. And by golly, you came with a shutout. I told them they need to score 35 at the beginning of the game, and they got well beyond that. So thank you for the shutout, sir, in the second half.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, it's not me, and these young men, and just pray we keep them going in the right direction.
Yes, sir. He is Todd Middleton, defensive coordinator for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. We want to thank the other coaches that joined in with us, Mr. Alvin Fosselman, special teams coordinator, and Mark Frederick, offensive coordinator. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thanking you guys so much for joining in with us. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.
And there you have it. You heard from the coordinators for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, Mark Frederick, Alvin Fosselman, and Todd Middleton. The Panthers will be the home team against the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. I got the Panthers winning this week. I think it's going to be a very competitive game as far as I don't expect the Panthers to score 54 points this week. I would love to have them score 54 points, but I'm looking at the Panthers probably winning this one. I'm saying 21-7 is what I'm projecting. And like I said, I'm hoping that it's more on the PV side. If you want to hear more about our picks for this week of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, we have what we call the BJM segment, which is aired on today. You can go to the archive section of any podcasting platform that we're using, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and check out what's going on. You can also go to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and be able to check out those. And I'm leading the way, by the way, between Ben, Jack, and myself with my picks. If I'm not mistaken, I think I got like 46 correct picks made thus far in the season. And Jack is at 43. Ben is at 38, something to that nature. But it's a lot of fun. You can join us each and every week for that. We have the Pettaway Report, where Coach Van Pettaway gives his grades for the last week's performance. We're also going to do that. He's committed to do that for basketball season as well. And it's just a grand old time. And, of course, you can listen to Panther Sports Live on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis being the voice of choice, leading the way for the Panthers charge. Now, that number to listen to live games on the Open Mic Broadcast Network is 857-777-0000. But if you happen to miss the game live, you can always go to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and get caught up with the latest and the greatest that's going on. I'm going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from a very dynamic young lady that represents the purple and gold of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Stay tuned to the Swac Zone. You'll be right back here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Work it, let me work it. With my bang down, flip it and reverse it.
Join us each and every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, for a word of encouragement from the Temple of Refuge Ministries. Simply dial 857-777-0000. Building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Temple of Refuge Ministries, Prairie View, Texas. People often ask us, when will we develop an app? And I've been telling them all the time, we already have an app right at your fingertip. That app is 857-777-0000. Save this number on your favorites, put it on your speed dial, and every time there's a live broadcast, dial that number, 857-777-0000. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a homecoming edition of This Week with our
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Swac Zone here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. So far, so good. We've heard from the head football, not the head football coaches, but the coordinators for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. We do hear from head football coach Bubba McDowell in most cases on Tuesdays, right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But Mark Frederick, Alvin Fosselman, and Todd Middleton giving us their insights from their prospective leadership roles on the Panthers football team. Panthers are still 3-1 in conference play. Hopefully they can get 4-1 after this weekend. But guess what's coming up? Basketball season. Panthers are positioning themselves for a successful 22-23 campaign. And we are excited that we'll be able to present to you each week the voices of Coach Byron Smith of men's basketball at Prairie View and Coach Sandy Pugh of women's basketball at Prairie View. Prairie View had a young lady who was able to reach a very successful milestone and achievement in life, representing the purple and gold at the White House. She became an ambassador for HBCU students across the country. She and 86 others were able to go to the White House and have an experience of a lifetime. And we are now going to hear from this young lady representing the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, and that is none other than Miss Kennedy Paul.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. We have a special guest with us on today. As you know, our mission is to try to bring you news that you could use. Today, we have joining us student athlete for the Prairie View A&M University women's basketball team, Miss Kennedy Paul, affectionately known as KP. How you doing today, ma'am?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I think you're doing a little bit better than good. If I'm not mistaken, you're fresh off a trip from the White House, and if you could explain what led you to the White House, and we'll get a little bit further down the road with this interview.
Okay. I was nominated by two of my professors from the biology department. So they picked 2 scholars from every HBCU across the nation. So there were 86 total selected. And you'll be recognized for 1 academic school year, and they teach you professional development, how to be engaging, and pretty much leadership that pertains to the workforce and things of that nature.
Okay, so you were selected as an ambassador, if you allow me to interpret it that way.
Yes. I'm an ambassador for the White House Initiative to try to help them see what is needed on the PVAMU campus so they can make those changes or try to make those changes for us.
Okay. Now, when you been told that you have been nominated for this, I could imagine, or you could better yet tell me, what was your initial thought? Okay, oh well, whatever.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think I was going to get selected because it was just something I did out of, okay, I'm going to just submit it. But when I got selected, it was like, wow, like I'm actually seen as this person of integrity, respect, and an exceptional student. So it was kind of surprising.
Yeah, well, when you declare what your major, being biology major, being a full-time supporting member of the women's basketball team, it's not an easy feat just being a regular student, but then being a student athlete and the major that you're in, it speaks to your commitment, A, to education, and B, to competing and representing not only the Prairie View A&M University family, but your family, your community, and people that you grew up with. So how does that make you feel?
It just makes me feel like everyone's counting on me in a way, like to keep going. So I try to keep my mindset in a positive and confidence at a high level so I can just accomplish all the things I want to do. So I know It's hard, the work schedule and everything, but I make it work, whether that's the late hours in the gym or the late hours in the study room.
Right. You got to have what we call that balance in life. Now, you have people that are listening, in particular young ladies that are listening. What would you say are the keys of you being successful on and off the court?
It all comes to repetition and discipline, and I would say the dedication. Having your mindset in that positive state to be disciplined and have a set schedule of what all you need to complete during that week, whether it's putting up shots or studying for an exam. You have to balance your hours, and time management is major too. So managing your time so you can have this set schedule to working out and studying and engaging on the floor, engaging with your coaches, it just all comes down to how much you want it.
How much you want it. I'm about to ask you a trick question right now. Which one is hardest, playing Division I basketball or those biology classes?
Biology classes, of course.
Okay. Now, what made you decide to be a biology major? What do you plan on doing once your basketball career is over with?
I'm still undecided. I was pursuing the dental field. I was going to be just a general dentist, and then I started to shadow, and I moved to medicine. So I'm going to be an orthopedic surgeon. I've started my studying for the MCAT, but I should be en route to take it this spring.
Okay, so you have plans to continue your educational journey once you're done at Prairie View, and where might that be if you hadn't already decided?
I'm looking at Meharry. I think I want to stick with the HBCU culture, so that's one of the top HBCUs for med school and dental school. So, and it's out in Nashville. I think a change of scenery would be good for me as well.
Okay. Now, everyone has a person or two of influence, and who might that be in your life?
It would have to be my grandma and my mother. They both pursued medicine, so my mom is a pharmacist and my grandma is a nurse. So having their biology background and their work ethic made me want to pursue medicine altogether. Okay,
so it's almost like being a fish in water. You just had the surroundings and you just kind of adapted to your surroundings.
Yep, just kept swimming with their culture.
Okay, very good. We're speaking right now with Ms. Kennedy Paul of Prairie View A&M University women's basketball. She is an ambassador representing the White House, and man, I'm proud to say that I know you and got you on this interview, man. You're making an old man feel young again. That's real good. Now, Ms. KP, if you allow me to say, when you are in competing mode, what do you do to get ready? How do you prepare for a game? And is it any different in the flow of the game when it actually starts basis to you getting prepared for that game?
I would say for preparation for a game, it would just have to be building my confidence up. Because as a shooter on this team, and we are a shooting team at that, so they rely on me a lot to make shots, confidence comes a long way. So just getting that reps that I need to hit those shots in the game and locking in with music. My favorite artist is Drake, so I pretty much listen to him before any game.
Drake?
Yeah.
Now, which song from Drake gets you the most hyped?
I would have to say Jimmy Cooks right now.
Jimmy Cooks. I bet you won't sing a little bit of it.
No.
Just a little bit for the listeners. I want to hear your talented side, your other talents that you have. Just give us a little bit.
I can't sing.
Oh, now, but I mean, you don't be thinking about you can't sing when you listen to Drake and you be singing along with him, right?
You're right.
Okay, give us a little bit.
Nah, I don't sing. I don't got that. I got.
She is denying us, ladies and gentlemen. That's okay. I tried, y'all. I tried. So you like Drake? Any other artists that you like to get you set up, or is it strictly Drake?
Future, and Frank Ocean too.
Okay, very good. Nice little blend and a balance of music repertoire. Now who do you get your music taste from?
I would have to say just being around my friends and engaging in them. Like, I hear a song I like, I'll be like, oh my, what's that? What's the name of that song? And I instantly just add it to my playlist. It just has to have a nice beat and a flow of lyrics that are...
Okay, very good. Now, KP, you're getting ready for a new season. You got some new faces on the team. You're acclimated now to Coach Pugh. How do you see this team looking for this 22-23 season for the Panthers?
I feel as if it's going pretty good. Our only expectation is to get to the ship. So to get there, we have to have discipline and consistency. And within practice, it's been flowing pretty nicely. So our 3-ball is amazing. So that's going to be one of our major repertoires that we add for this season, so I feel as if it's going to go pretty well.
Okay, well, we're looking and hoping that things do go well for the Panthers as they get ready for this 22-23 season. Man, I'm getting old, Miss KP. It sounds so far away when I used to hear 20,000. I'm like, wow, I won't tell you the year I was at Prairie View because you'll be like,
What year?
No, just like you wouldn't sing, I'm not going to tell. You might have to do a little research on that. How about that? You're a biologist and all that. You're an ambassador and everything. I'll let you do a little research. How about that?
Yeah, I'll do some research on you.
Well, look, I really, really want to thank you so much for joining in with us here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And I want to give you an opportunity to share some thoughts and some comments, ma'am. And the floor is now yours.
As pertaining to what? The team?
Just pertaining to anything that's on your precious mind.
I would just have to say that I know everyone goes through battles and everything, but it's really up to you to keep going. So you have to find that strength within yourself to keep going and keep doing the things you know you want to do later in life. So your future starts now. Don't wait to try to pursue it later when you know you can accomplish those things now to lead you there. So that was my problem. My timing was off. So I'm starting to figure out things that I should have been figured out, but that was also the thief of my joy as I was comparing my timeline to others. So just know that you're on your own route. You have your own path to pursue, and don't compare yourself to anyone, because the only person you have to compete with is yourself and the person you were yesterday.
That was very beautifully stated, young lady, for someone who didn't know what they want to say, huh? Look, I know you're from Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir.
And there's a big game coming up from a school that you're familiar with. But I got to ask you this question: who you rooting for?
Go Panthers! This is supposed to be my alma mater. So
okay, well, I just have to make sure I have to test the waters, right? I have to test the waters.
Although I went to every Southern game since I was about 17 or 18 years old, I am still a Panther.
Okay, well, look, we would not hold that against you. You can't help the way you were raised, but thank God we saved you in time, right?
Right.
Look, KP, I really want to appreciate you for joining in with us here on the Mike Prince Show at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. Our YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And don't forget to visit our website at obnradio.com. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from the young, dynamic Kennedy Paul. Made me PV proud. Of course, we had done that interview before the Southern football game. So we figured we wanted to hold it because it was so good, so valuable, right before basketball season was started. You'll be able to hear from Miss Kennedy Paul and the rest of the Lady Panthers. I shouldn't have said Lady Panthers, but the Panthers. Forgive me, charge it to my head, but not to my heart, as they'll be getting ready to do damage on the hardwood. Basketball season starts November 7th, and you can stay tuned at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and of course listen to the Swac Zone. We'll hear from Coach Van Pettaway of all the ins and outs of hoop action from the Southwestern Athletic Conference. HBCU Go TV had announced that they're going to have 36 SWAC basketball games featured on their network this season. That is huge. That is extremely huge. Some more NCAA basketball news. The NCAA is considering expanding from 64 to 96 teams for March Madness. Do you think that's overkill? What cause and effect would that have on other tournaments such as the NIT and CIT? And would you be interested in seeing 96? We'll keep a tab on that as the stories develop and unfold. Just as we do every day at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, it is a joy and a pleasure to bring you guys news that you could use, regardless of what school is involved with the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We want to try to give you some insights of what's going on. Of course, the Mike Prince Show comes to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, with TV news, SWAC news. And on Thursdays, we have the Swac Zone, which kind of hovers around the entire conference, but we know this week is an exceptional week. It's homecoming week. Got a programming note for you. We have a very good interview with the interim director of athletics at Prairie View, John Gardner. He'll be coming up on our Friday edition of the Mike Prince Show. It's homecoming on the Hill. Who you rooting for? You. Want to thank you guys for joining in with us on this week's edition of the Swac Zone. Don't forget to remember to join us on Thursdays. 12 noon is the scheduled time of release right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am going to exit stage left for right now. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, reminding you guys to follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Don't forget, we have a plethora of opportunities for you to listen to the archives on podcast format. Google Podcasts, Spreaker.com. We have Spotify and SoundCloud. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.